buzz between Boya Bus Drivers Syndicate and Private Interurban Transporters Union plying the Boya Manfe Ekok Road clash over the slow pace of business as the scuffle that erupts in the town of the Boya municipality leaves many undesirable questions. Also, 4 persons pronounced dead after consuming a meal containing poisonous substances in a Kiliwindi village of Mehmet Division, according to pronouncement from the medical practitioners over there in Meme. And massive crowds turned out to cheer the Indomitable Lions of Cameroon during the training session at the Yaoundé Amadou Stadium, at the Amadou Ahijo Stadium. They took a glimpse as they promoted the Lions to make sure that the triumph over the Saturday's encounter between the Indomitable Lions of Cameroon and the Blue Sharks of Cape Verde. Those were major stories. Good evening to you all. This is High Prime of Thursday, the 6th of June 2024. For presentation, I am detailing Larry Kevin Sawat. We start off with this story where the constant meddling of some members of government to some political parties in the internal affairs of political parties have left many undesirable towards the move that the government in question is taking in. This has plunged Cameroon into a tight corner, as outside the nation they see the country Cameroon as a country that does say she's practicing democracy but does the contrary. This comes with on the heels of Paul Atanganji's disposition of who is the right person to run the affairs of the National Reconciliation Party of Cameroon, known in French as PCRN of Cabra Libre. As our reporter Asma. In Cameroon, the political scene is usually animated by a remarkable fragmentation of political parties on the question for the need to control the vibrant and promising political opposition parties by some governmental forces. The recent case in point of the National Reconciliation Party, PCRN of Cabra Libre, the MP, the AFP, UPC, and UNTP parties are quite recurrent and fresh in the minds of political pundits as they see it as a gross manipulation of the regime in place to keep their gaze on manipulating the myopic minds of some opposition members. What is unfolding at Fikafut signifies the beginning of the end of the suffering of Cameroonians that is announcing herself, because Cabral Libre has not been recognized by them, though he will fight back because he is a solid opposition to CPDM. As such, they need to do away with him. The fragmentation reveals the notion of government who wants to erase any formidable opposition party in the country. When you take a look at what is unfolding, you will see that the president wants to eliminate any formidable opposition such that the sport of political ineventualities can be erased. Since political opposition parties are ineventualities, they need to do away with the constant meddling from the Minister of the Administration, Paul Atanganji, that has further exacerbated the bad situation as the democratic scene of the nation is seen as black, something that is not healthy for a young democracy like that of Cameroon. These people that you are seeing clearly are forces that can get to power, and with the opposition unable to resist them. Now this explains the reason why they are doing all it takes to eradicate any serious opposition. The vicious cycle teleguided by the more than 40-year-old regime of Paul Biya has further exacerbated the bad situation worse, as the democratic process in the nation is seen by outside forces as a deja vu, and as such the country Cameroon is far from being a real democracy. We move on to the town of Boya, where traders and business persons operating businesses over there at the Boya Central Market in Wittingi are smiling following the inauguration ceremony of the Central Market of Boya by the Minister of Decentralization and Local Development, George Olanga Obam, yesterday in the town of Leonardo Hospitality. According to the mayor of Boya, Barrister David Mafani Namange, this infrastructure that was financed by corporation ties from the German Development Bank, the KWF, alongside the Special Council Fund for Mutual Assistance, known in French as FACOM, is a one that will go a long way to bring the set infrastructural development that the town of Buea is in dire need of. Alice Leke Liengu Ikomi attended that ceremony and Atos Osman.
This is the newly constructed Buea Central Market. The Minister of Decentralization and Local Development, Josh Olanga Obam, is in Buea this Wednesday, June 5, to inaugurate the project for the construction of shops in the Buea Central Market.
Before building a market, there are a lot of studies that are done. And it is by these studies that we can conclude that it is possible. And as it is an installation that was done by the German corporation, they are more severe than us. So before giving their money to the team, they make sure that it is a contribution for the growing community. This is the first thing. The studies were very well conducted. Of course, the job was well done, as you can see by yourself.
The project, with a total budget of 744,461,978 francs, includes one block of 68 shops, 2 shed blocks each with 76 places and display units, 10 conventional energy street lamps, 2 standpipes, 1 borehole with 300-liter water tower. The market will function alongside the already existing markets in Buea. The event also saw the handling of gifts to the minister, the unveiling of the pillar, and a tour around the newly constructed market.
Still in the southwest region, we move on to Mehmet Division, where 4 persons in Ekiliwinzi, a village in Mehmet Division, have been pronounced dead after they consumed a meal that contained poisonous substances, according to medical reports that is emanating from the division of Mehmet. The said persons who actually were rushed to the hospital before they were pronounced dead is one that has brought fear to the villagers in Ekiliwinzi village, as Aishamban has more.
Report from officials on Wednesday, June 5, 2024, says 4 people have died after consuming poisonous food in Ekiliwinzi, Maitwam Diongo in Konye subdivision of Mehmet Division. The victims, identified as Fon Francis, neighbor Endurance, Fon Delight, and an unidentified person, fell ill after eating the food on Monday, June 3rd. According to witnesses, the 4 had been consuming the same meal for the past 2 days. One of the only surviving child recounts how the mother served food to the father and the other 3 siblings, with the youngest being 2 years old. Fortunately for him, he was irritated by the scent of the food, so he refused to eat the food. According to the source, 3 of the victims were rushed to Tam Hospital in Mabanda, Kumba after they began vomiting. 2 were pronounced dead upon arrival, and the 3rd died despite attempts to save her. Fon Francis and the father succumbed later. The doctor on duty confirmed that the victims had consumed a poisonous substance locally known as mocap after a thorough medical examination. Worthy of note is the fact that this incident marked the 2nd time in less than 3 years that mocap poisoning has occurred in the same locality. In June 2021, 3 people died after consuming food contaminated with the same substance.
Sad indeed, and may their souls rest in peace. We move on to this other story. One of the highest drug seizure that has happened in the history of Cameroon took place recently at the Douala International Airport, where police and custom officials working over there at the Douala International Airport were able to detect one of the luggages belonging to a 60-year-old man containing several kilograms of cocaine and other hard drug substances that were seized as the said gentleman in question was put behind bars over there at the Douala New Bell prison. Alice Bekelengwe comment tells us more.
Custom officers at the Douala International Airport in Cameroon bustling economic hub seized a consignment of 24 kilograms of cocaine from Sao Paulo, Brazil on May 30, 2024. This came from the Communications Department of the General Directorate of Custom under the Ministry of Finance. The intercepted shipment is reported to be worth $52 million or over 1 billion CFA francs as per the same source. The drugs were concealed in 8 packages weighing a total of 166 kilograms. Shoes and handbags were also found in these packages with wooden handles, inside which 24.5 kilograms of cocaine were carefully concealed. The suspect, approximately 60 years old, along with the evidence, were handed over to the public prosecutor near the Douala Bonanjo High Court. According to reports, this is one of the largest drug seizures in recent years at the Douala International Airport and also the second significant cocaine seizure at the airport this 2024.
We move on to something else. We visit one of our list stories. As we did mention earlier on, bus drivers and inter-urban transporters plying the Boya-Manfe-Ekok road have clashed with bus drivers in Boya following the slow pace of business, as bus drivers syndicate are accusing those private inter-urban transportation drivers, popularly known as Clando, as being an obstacle to their transportation business. These happened yesterday in the town of Boya, as they are calling on the Boya Council authorities to make sure that they sanitize the said transportation sector in the town of Boya. Our reporter, Asma. The standoff between the Boya bus drivers and the private inter-urban drivers, popularly known as Clando, plying the Boya-Manfe-Ekok route was quite a chaotic one in the town of legendary hospitality.
I don't go for I don't see bus driver, I don't go my 17 cam. They say no one Clando again. So, but now this Clando, the help we. Struggle don't happen now. Some of we will not come outside, they will not come now. This thing, the help we will feed our family. We manage to take care of them beginning for school. So that more no go pick gun, join my brother for bush. When some of them, they don't even reach away with reach. Now inter-urban transportation way we do, they will not say no be legal. But my brother don't come say no, they know Joe 1 week. They know one make Clando exist. So you think we don't call them for say more she don't talk. They say no, they know Joe 1 for here, nothing for me. More we pack, more we carry one motor, them will go. So we don't be here since morning till now. The beg administration say we decide to see into this problem because some of we now this Clando, it help we, it give we small chop, it feed we picking them, send picking them for school.
The park general supervisor of the Boya My 17 motor park on his part says this saturated situation is all thanks to administrative tolerance coming from the Boya Council authorities.
This mayor wait there for power today, it don't minimize the transport sector of Boya. Because this transport sector, we don't do everything to ensure, say, make government see the support we get for government for this crisis. From 2018, where crisis is there for Boya and for the whole Cameroon, we, the transporters of My 17 motor park, the buses, we make sure, say, every day we there for roaders, we don't know ghost town. We always there for road, for system help the government and make government heavy, for ensure, say, me people they work. So all the time we there for park, we dey walk up to now where the park don't be in division. If we reach for My 17 now, and then been at you then for Moloko now to talk, I would like someone will still go down for My 17 When I will see what you will talk, the whole my 17 be covered by clandos.
With the armed conflict reigning in the Anglophone regions that has had a huge negative toll on the transport sector in these two regions, the manual drivers say the situation must be addressed quite adequately.
2012, where they run the road before crisis one start, means we for travel for carry passengers from Manfe to Ekok, from Ekok to Douala, not be being for we for the carry passengers and passengers that they come, they can't remain for Kumba for the whole day. They say Amba they run block road. Now we would struggle with transfer the passengers so they carry and go reach for Manfe, transfer them, carry them, can't leave them back for Boya. Or they cry for government, make government here will cry. If we will not be Cameroonians, the day we move, leave the place, we'll go we back for old town. Because now we for here, we struggle for help. They will big mommy, they will big papa, they may go for that place system. See today, ask one of them, some may load that our boss, some may go a cock, they will deny for load for go. They will say no, they will go shoot them. But every day, we struggle, go load, we go carry that very mommy, we carry them, we come to back for here. They do business, they mommy, they sell for OIC market them for here. They market them for here, now they carry that things up from a cock, bring them for here.
The issue that seems to stem from the provision of Boya Council royalties collection, something the Boya bus driver says it was unrealistic for the council to keep on collecting money from them while Clando drivers are still in the set line of business.
Buses them will get up on my 17. So when the people down 4 days when they get all booked, then they be able to go work. Able to go work, they need to go. Now the student that they pack to them so all. One of them my 17 for that place where that Clando driver they go to stand up and they say they want to go. They are them, they don't get another pack again for corner petrol station. Say an agency where they want to run Douala. And we go verify, we need to see no document. Yes, and as most of them will be having buses. So now what I would say to them today, we will come start for here, move it back for here. Or maybe you can't explain we have the new document for Clando, the buses there.
With the level of misunderstanding between both transport sectors of Boya, eyes are all therefore focused on the Boya Council to salvage the situation.
To our viewers in Cameroon and around the world, you are watching High Prime and we are coming to you live from our new studio here in High Television. We talk on this climate change action where a group of 57 scientists drawn across the globe has used the United Nations approved method to examine what is behind last year's deadly heat wave that caused a lot of hazards to the environment and human lives across the world. With last year's rate of warming that constituted a 0.26 degrees Celsius and that of 0.47 degrees Celsius for this year, heat waves are something that the scientists says our population and those living all across planet Earth should be mindful and watch out for. Aisha Mbeng is our lady on the story.
Earth warming rate hit an all-time high in 2023 with 92% of last year's surprising record-shattering heat caused by humans, as top scientists have revealed. The group of 57 scientists from around the world used United Nations approved methods to examine what's behind last year's deadly burst of heat. According to the scientists, even with a faster warming rate, they don't see evidence of significant acceleration in human-caused climate change beyond increase of fossil fuel burning. Last year, record temperatures were so unusual that scientists have been debating what's behind the big jump and whether climate change is accelerating or if other factors are in play. Last year, the rate of warming hit 0.26 degrees Celsius, 0.47 degrees Fahrenheit the year before. That's not a significant difference, though it does make this year 2024's rate the highest ever. As the world keeps using coal, oil, and natural gas, Earth is likely to reach the point in 4.5 years that it can no longer avoid crossing the internationally accepted threshold for warming 1.5 degrees Celsius, 2.7 degrees Fahrenheit. For scientist Foster, that fits with earlier studies projecting Earth being committed to stuck to at least 1.5 degrees. By early 2029, if emission trajectories don't change. The actual hitting of 1.5 degrees could be years later, but it could be inevitable if all that carbon is used. The scientist further says that it is not the end of the world or humanity if temperatures blow past the 1.5 limit, but it will be quite bad. Past UN studies show massive changes to Earth's ecosystem are more likely to kick in between 1.5 and 2 degrees Celsius of warming, including eventual loss of the planet's coral reefs, Arctic sea ice, species of plants and animals, along with nastier extreme weather events that kill people. It is worth noting that the 2023 report says an undersea volcano that injected massive amounts of heat-trapping water vapor into the atmosphere also spewed cooling particles, with both forces pretty much cancelling each other out. In the words of Catherine Harvey, Texas Tech climate scientist and chief scientist at the Nature Conservancy, the future is in our hands. It is us, not physics, but humans will determine how quickly the world warms and by how much.
We move on to our sports page for tonight. Fans and supporters of the male national football team, the Indomitable Lions, turned out yesterday at the Yaoundé Amadou Ahidjo Stadium massively for the training session of the boys of Mark Breeze. According to the fans and supporters of the Indomitable Lions, they say they don't care about the imbroglio that is currently unfolding between the Ministry of Sports and Cameroon Football Federation, FECAFOOT, as their earnest wish is for the Indomitable Lions to come up with a good victory against the Blue Sharks of Cape Verde. Our sportsman has more.
With shouts of excitement and euphoria coming from the fans and supporters of the Indomitable Lions of Cameroon, the male national football team finally arrived at the Yaoundé Amadou Ahidjo Stadium. Being heavily present behind the national team, the fans and spectators are not interested in the upheavals unfolding between the Ministry of Sport and Physical Education and Cameroon Football Federation. If FECAFOOT and MINSEF have their issues, it doesn't concern the players. They need to stay on the march. I think the Indomitable Lions have to concentrate on the two matches that will be coming up soon, despite the communion and camaraderie that reigned between the Indomitable Lions and the public was quite visible, except in the training session at the Fandena neighborhood of Yaoundé, the team of Mark Breeze saw the young Carlos Baleba animating the gallery as he was quite bold, except shout from the public. The public, on the other hand, came purposely to have a glimpse of certain players of their choice. We came to see the Lions. Equally, we came to see our kid brother Jomo John Bosco and the captain of Young Sport Academy of Bamenda, as he is our brother.
Je n'oublie pas Omosola, le gardien aussi, et James Eto.
Mark Breeze validates his playing system as the player embarked on a limited pitch playground as handball was conducted by the assistant coach, the Congolese national Joachim Mununga. In the eyes of the public, it was a remarkable training session of last Wednesday as the forward Muminganwalu wasn't in his best physique but promised to do just that. The different supporters and fans of the Indomitable Lions showed up at the Yaoundé Fandena Stadium, giving it an added boost to the national team squad, though not in their remarkable numbers.
With that fascinating sports report on the Indomitable Lions of Cameroon as they get their acts ready for the showdown between the Lions and the Blue Sharks of Cape Verde, this is what concludes tonight's news package of Thursday, the 6th of June 2024. Thanks for watching and good night from our news studio. Up next is the news in the Pidgin language, which Uncle Diman Calvin Wallan will be coming up at the top of the hour exactly at 9 p.m. From me and the entire news crew, blessed night.